Welcome back to another episode of Invest in Your Future. My name is Kenny. I'm the CEO, founder, and owner of Corinda Group Corporation, and we handle your real estate issues. But there's some other things that we also help you with, which is financial education and also just general personal development to get to the level where you're comfortable and hopefully in better situation financially and also just personally. Today's subject is a little combination of two things. First thing we're going to tackle here is fear. Fear is one of the most important things that people can't get over, obviously, because they're afraid of something. When you're afraid of something, most likely what you're going to do is you're going to back away from it. You should do which is the opposite, which is you should be going towards your fears. So if you're afraid to try to make a movie, try to make a movie. If you're afraid to sing in front of a public audience, try to sing in front of a public audience. So try to sing in front of 2 people, 3 people, and build it up to that level where you're comfortable, you get over that fear. Another big thing that people are afraid of is how to handle their money and also how to deal with their money and also how to make money. They're afraid of, I might not be able to make the certain money that I want to make, or I'm not making enough money, so I'm afraid to, spend my money. I'm afraid to invest my money. I'm afraid to do these other certain things because of the fear. Now, fear is obviously a very big thing, and a lot of people are afraid of things, but I suggest one of my biggest tips that helped me to reach my level is instead of running away from my fears, I go towards my fears. Will Smith made a great statement saying that he goes after goals that scare him. And same with me. I was afraid to buy a house. I went and bought a house. Even though there's certain things in your mind that says, that little voice that tells you, don't do it, you're going to make a problem, don't push too hard, you might fail. Those are all just false evidence appearing to be real, which fear stands for. It's just something that's holding you back internally. It's not anything externally. It's something internally that's forcing you to think of all the negatives about it. So fear is one of the most important things you need to get over. So after whatever you're doing, whatever you're going after, it doesn't matter if it's making YouTube channels, whether it's making a movie, whether it's making a music video, wherever it is, whatever you want to do, make sure that if you're afraid of it, most likely it's something you should be doing to force yourself to get out of that comfort zone, because comfort zone is where you're nice and warm and fuzzy. But if you're afraid of something, most likely it's going to be out of that comfort zone. It's going to push you to become a better person and, in a sense, get things you want. There's only 3 ways of making money. Only 3 ways. So M1, M2, and M3. M1 is the general public, the general overall majority of people are in this category right here, M1. M1 is where you trade time for money. Now, this is generic for everyone. You go to a job, you put in 40 hours a week, you get a check. You go to do another job, exchanging your time for money. Now, this is very, very admirable to people, but this is not the best way to make money. And you can see it's a big chunk of people are doing this, 95% of the people. If you're always going to do this, it's going to be tough for you to be financially free because you only have a certain amount of time. You only have 24 hours in a day. It doesn't matter if you're a billionaire or a broke person, you only have 24 hours in a day. And if you work even 24 hours a day, you're still not going to make enough money because you're exchanging the time for money. So M2, the 4% here, take their time, they make their money, but then they give it to somebody else to be hands off so they don't have to worry about the problem. Those most people are doing 401ks, doing mutual funds. They just take their money and they put it on the side and to have somebody else hand it off, and so they don't have to worry about it themselves. It's called hands-off approach. It's about 4% of the people. It's a good method if you are not financially literate, but it's very also tough to make long-term wealth in terms of you're relying on somebody else's skills, somebody else's knowledge, and somebody else is hopefully smart enough to make your money work hard enough for you to get a nice return on your money. And M3, which is the category that I believe everyone should be in, M3 is about 1% of the nation, actually probably would say even worldwide, in terms of creating massive amounts of money or creating a life change, a lifestyle change, or creating a certain degree of change in your life that you want. You need to be in this category right here. M3 are the self, meaning they handle their own money, and the MSOI. This stands for multiple streams of income. This right here is probably one of the most important things that people should understand, learn, and study. If you are handling your own money and you're creating multiple streams of income, you have nothing but positivity coming into your life. Let's say you have your own business, Or let's say you work for somebody else, so you're trading time for money. That's fine. It's 40 hours a week. Everyone has that. But now you have a side business where you're selling things on Craigslist, eBay, Let Go, OfferUp. You get a camera on Craigslist. You start making videos online. You start doing some smaller things here to trickle in some small streams of income. This is going to be a much faster and much more sufficient way of making serious income change, and also getting your fear over money, because now you can see different kinds of money coming into your life, instead of just relying on one job and bringing in just a certain amount of money. If it's $400 a week, you only know you're making $400 a week. But here you might be making $2,000 a week, $4,000 a week, depending on all the different streams of income you institute into your life. This is probably the most important thing you need to learn, is how to handle your own money, and also how to add streams of income to your certain money that you're making now. It's good to have a job and bring in money so you can get into this level. So I'm not saying quit your job. I'm not saying any of those things. I'm just saying use this to get to a level where, let's say you start with hands off, so you have a 401k and all these other things that can help you on the side, but don't just rely on these things right here. Use these as a percentage of ways to change your mindset. So you should really flip this all the way around. So you should start with M1, where you're making your money from a job or wherever your income's coming from, to start taking some money on the side, have it hands off, whether it be a 401k where they match, or have a mutual fund on the side that you put maybe 2-3% of your income. But then you also take some other side money and you start making multiple streams of income, whether it be a side business, Uber, Lyft. There's so many other ideas out there that you could do to make some money on the side that can help you get into the 1%, because that's where you want to be. That's where you want to live in the area, because that 1% is the area that helps you get to the levels that you want, which is the fun levels, which is the not stressing levels over money. And also what it's going to do is going to actually slowly decrease your fear of money, of losing money, of making money, because now you can see the potential in it. All right, so these are things that you definitely need to study. Thank you again for joining me on Invest in Your Future.